Hi everyone. Oh no, the mic. Just doing a quick mic check. Let's get into it. Let me turn the volume down just a little bit. Oh, everything's on full volume. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. I'm so excited about today's live because I don't think I've ever done this on live. I've never done an isometric room on live. I was having some moments last week where I was just like so obsessed with it. I'll tell you how I came up with this concept real quick. But first, let me get my blanket all situated. I got my coffee, have my blanket. We got our lo-fi in the background. Not too hot out. Only thing I'm missing is an acai bowl, but all right. So let's get into today's live. But before we do all of that, I wanted to just give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey everyone, welcome to the live. Really excited about today. Secondly, I'm going to be dropping a couple videos within the next couple days because I finally finished the vintage television that we worked on back in July. So I realized yesterday it was back in July that we went live and created our vintage television. It's done. I was able to put a Courage the Cowardly Dog clip from the cartoon into the render, and it was 1,746 frames, so it took me 3 days to render out that project, but it's completed, it's done, it's all rendered out, and I'm so excited to show you all because I'm really excited about the fact that it pushed me in a lot of different ways. I first of all didn't know if I could put an MP4 into the scene, so I was testing myself there. And then working on the collage wall took multiple days, and scouring the internet to find the references for all of the 90s and 2000s cartoons took some time. So it was a really extensive project, but I'm really glad of how it turned out. And it was a product of one of these lives. So I'm very proud of it. So check that out. I did drop a part 1. I think there's going to be about 4 or 5 parts that I drop, and then I'll just drop the entire render so that you can just see the process and how long it took me. And if you all do want me to go into detail about how I did every single part after the live is still up, so you can definitely see how I modeled the television. But anything else, I did record myself doing the collage wall, but it erased. It wasn't, not that it erased, but it wasn't recording. My OBS like timed out or something, and it just stayed at one screen. So an hour and a half of footage down the drain, which happens more often than I like to admit, if I'm being real. But anyway, that's for another live. So today we're working on this bakery scene, and I'll tell you how we got here. Essentially, I've been working on, I'm going to go to my second scene. I have 2 scenes in this project file. So I'm going to go to the first scene. And this is my Eevee setup. So I have this setup. If I go into rendered view, any of the like watercolor collection that I've been working on, I use this scene. So I have a volume setup, which I've never used, but it does help bake the lighting in your scene. So I did add that to the scene. I have all my lighting, all my spotlight lighting set up already. So let me just maybe pop something out, so I'll just show you what I mean. So this is one of the most recent renders that I did. It was a strawberry cake that I worked on. I used meta balls and just like the noise displacement modifier, and made this. And then this way I can use Eevee, but it still looks as good as close to Cycles. So I'm using a copied scene for the bakery. So essentially my plan is to continue making sweet treats. I'm really into making sweet treats in Blender right now. Whatever, I just go with what I feel. So I wanted to make a display case to display all the sweet treats. So that's how this started. And then once I made the display case, I was like, well, may as well keep this going. And I was like, oh, why don't we make a cute little isometric bakery, and I can put all of the objects that I've created thus far into the scene. That's how we got here. So what I have up here, I then of course went to Pinterest and I grabbed some references, just some inspo on what we want our bakery to look like. So the thing that I grabbed from this particular one, what did I grab from this one? I liked the idea of the signs, but it didn't fit, because here we're going to put a cute little couch. So this display, the center display piece here, that's where this kind of comes into play. I thought that'd be really fun. I love these built-ins. I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit, but I think they're just so elegant and pretty. So that's kind of where that inspo for that came in, for these built-ins. Of course, we added some shelving so we can do the same thing. I've also done a lot of renders where I've made like glasses. I've mentioned this on the live before, but I do bartend for a living. So there was a tiny moment where I was into making like bar tools. So I do have some bar tools that we can maybe add, like glassware and things like that. I think today we'll definitely work on like the cake display, the cupcake display. I started that there, but I didn't finish because I had work. Oh, and here we go. So this display case I thought was stunning. I loved the detail. So we kind of use that as inspo here. So this is kind of our display case that we have. I have it. The reason it looks like that, if we go into our transform and then go to viewport display, I just displayed it as wire because that's going to be the glass. So I just wanted to get a full feel. I think this one has a duplicate. So if I'm being honest, yeah, it definitely has a duplicate. So let's see which cube that is. I tried to keep this as organized as I could. And I'm going to continue with that, trying to keep this as organized as I can. I'm not super sure how far we'll get today, but I'm not necessarily in any sort of a rush. Okay, yeah, so there was a duplicate there. So this is what the shelving looks like without the glass. So I think I'm going to just leave it for now because who knows, we may need that later on for something. What else do we have that I've done so far? These cubes that you're seeing, this is just placeholders so we know where things are going. So a lot of times doing these isometric rooms, it is helpful to just put your placeholders so that you know what's going on. That's going to be my window. Let's see. I figured, I don't know, like the staff would have maybe a counter back here that they could place things. We have like another side counter, and then in my mind, this is like, you know, where they would come in and out. I don't know. I was just kind of going with the flow. I was really in the groove of it. And then we found some inspo for, let's see, let me back this up. Let's go into our second row. Okay, so this was the inspo for the couch. So we're going to do the little couch. Little built-in couch. I think it's so pretty. We'll add some panels. I also put a little back wall here. We can also add panels because I do think having the paneling up the wall, very classy, very pretty. We're going to really deck out the wall. I do think adding curtains could be really fun. We could use maybe the cloth simulator or the simulation, or we can even go as far as using sculpting because they have a new cloth tool, which is so cool. So we can play with that. I think that'd be really fun. Excited about the emissions because we're in Eevee, so we can take advantage of using like emission shaders to get some glowing underneath the shelving here. Definitely picture frames, cute little chi-chis up there. And then yeah, we'll work on a cushion, a couple pillows. I kind of changed up the tables setting here, so I figured I'd put some seats along the wall. You have your couch area here, and then There's going to be a little sign maybe here with like the deals of the day. I'm trying to figure out where the register would be. In my mind, the only place it could be would be here, but that's a little low. So maybe we could also put like a little iPad or something like right up here. Maybe we could lift this up a little bit. I don't know. We'll kind of see. Oh, and I was thinking in this little corner, we could have a little coffee machine that's kind of running autonomously. I think that'd be really fun. So I don't have a time frame on this project. I think isometric rooms tend to take a while, which is why I don't do so many of them, because there's so many tiny little pieces, but they are one of the most satisfying things that you can do in 3D, I will say. And you'll notice it's not quite a square. It's a little bit more rectangular. And that's just because I needed more space, more room. And again, we can make this as big as we want because it's our life, no rules. So yeah, I think that's really the gist of how we got here, why I'm doing this. I thought it'd be a fun break from the other stuff that we were doing, as well as I do want to use this for my sweet treats that I've been making. So with that, let's start doing things. Okay. So, seeing where we are right now, I think the next thing that I'm interested in tackling... Oh, do I need to show you anything else of importance? I really liked this hanging bread basket here. Oh, here we go. I put the menus here. That's what we did, you see? So kind of similar. We'll put them there. Yeah, I like these hanging baskets, so that's why I grabbed this reference. I also didn't mind this display case. I thought it was kind of cool. This was more or less if we did do an outside or closed it up. This is for the cupcakes displays, so I was just trying to get some ideas of the cupcake displays. Same here. I thought this cupcake display was sick. So dope. There's just something so exciting about walking into a pastry shop and there's just an abundance of pastries. Like, I did do a macaroon tutorial a while back, maybe a year ago, so we can add some macaroons. We can change up the colors so we can have a macaroon setup. I was thinking maybe here the cupcakes could be, and then maybe we could put the macaroons in here. We could also put some glass behind maybe like 2 of the 4, so we could also display some pastries back here, kind of how they're doing up here. I love the aesthetic of this. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so pretty. It definitely inspires me to do more cupcakes. I don't know. I just like the challenge of like the whipped cream and the frosting. I just think it's really fun. I thought these pastries were just like cool looking. This display case was pretty straightforward. Just so we have a setup of how things would kind of look. And then I love the slant of these shelves here. I just think it's really aesthetically pleasing. And I just loved how elegant this looked with the panels and everything and the color. I just have such a thing for this like cyan, blue, teal color. It's like one of my favorite colors. Every time I see it, I gravitate towards it. So immediately I was like, yes. So I do love this little detail. I don't think we're going to fit it in, but we can do panels. We definitely can still do that and add some emission. And these lights are pretty cute too. So I'm kind of using this as like a Sim inspired. If I was building a bakery in The Sims, what would I do? And I'm literally building these objects instead of using the tools in The Sims. All right, so that's enough of me talking. I'm just yapping. You know what I mean? I'm just yapping. So what should we work on first? I'm thinking let's what's really gonna give us? Should we do the couch? Let's do the couch. I think that'd be fun. We can do the couch. And the pillows, right? So let's do that. So for this one here, I think we could just do a subdivided cube. So I'm going to click on my geometry. That's going to be the base, which is great. I'm going to click 3. Oh, you know what? Let me turn on my screencast keys so that you can See what I'm doing in the bottom left-hand corner if anybody wants to make a couch with me right now. So I'm going to click this face, Shift-D, just grab it so that we know that it's there. Right click to reset it, and then I'm just going to grab on the Z and pull it up. Huge thing with building isometric rooms is utilizing the geometry you already have. Huge. Because it just helps for things to go much smoother. I don't always practice that, but I do try. So I'm going to tab out. Oh, wait, actually, let me click L. Linked, which is just going to click the faces linked to whatever face you selected. And then I'm going to press P and separate it. So now I have two separate objects. And you know what? Before I start getting too crazy, where is this located? Okay, so we got you and you. What's that? Is that my... It's the back panel. So I just want this and this. I'm going to put this in a separate collection. And we're going to put couch. Is that how you spell couch? It looks weird. All right, so I'm trying to keep everything organized, honestly, because the last thing we need is like a billion things that just say cube dot. So we're going to do generate, and then we'll do a subdivision. Maybe we'll go up to like 3. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into edit mode. And let's just add some loop cuts. You know the vibes. Until we get it exactly where we want it. We're not going to be shy either. We want the edges pretty sharp. But we want it to still give cushion, you know what I mean? So I'm going to put one more loop down at the bottom. Hello. Let's put one there so that it kind of really is flat. Maybe we'll do one more on either side. Just like that. I think that looks great. Tab out. Let's grab on the Z and get that cushion right on there. Because, you know, it's not quite square. Like a cushion's going to have a little roundedness to it from the wear and tear of all the bodies. And also this is like a cheap little cushion. It's not going to be like a lush cushion, you know, at this establishment. All right, so I think we have enough loop cuts, but in my mind, I want it, ours is going to be a little bit classier. It's going to be a little thicker. So I'm just going to grab the top faces and then grab on the Z. And we're just going to thicken her up just a little. Let's tab out. There's our cushion. Cute. Now let's do some pillows. So I'm going to Shift A. And we're going to do a plane for these pillows. So I'm going to do a plane. Let me zoom out. Let me grab on the X. Tab out. Let me scale it all the way down. I'm grabbing on the Y to pull it back. I'm gonna grab on the X. Let's grab on the X. Why is it jumping so quickly? Then grab on the Y again. Let's rotate on the X 90. I'm gonna grab on the Z. And let me just scale her down a bunch. And then grab down on the Z. Let's see how close we are now. And I'm going to just pull her back just a little, like that. Okay, now let's jump into isolation mode so we can really see what's happening here. Now, here's a section where we make a pillow. So when you're making a pillow in Blender, it's actually pretty easy. If you just add a plane, tap into edit mode, and do your subdivisions in edit mode, because it's not going to... like when you use subdivision modifier, it'll make it a circle. When you subdivide in edit mode, it's going to keep your geometry the shape that it is, just add more subdivision so that Blender has more polys to work with. So I'm going to subdivide, and I'm going to do maybe like, let's see what 10 looks like. Let's do 20. Just so we can give this pillow like a good amount of detail, right? So I'm subdividing by 20. That's solid. That's all you need to do right there. And then with everything selected, I think you just want to extrude just a little. So I'm going to E on the Y just to give it the smallest thickness, like not even anything crazy, because when we use the cloth simulation, it's going to poof it out. But we just need a little bit of geometry to work with. So we have like this really skinny piece of like this really skinny plane. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do cloth. I believe it's cloth. Am I doing cloth? Yeah, cloth, I think it is. And then we're going to do pressure, check pressure. And let's just see what that does. So I'm going to press play. Oh, that's not what we want. Hold on. Stiffness, damping. There's something I have to check. It's not soft body, right? No, it wouldn't be soft body. That's kind of crazy. There's one other thing that you need to check. Let me move my phone so I can see. Pressure. I feel like, okay, we need self-collision. That's what I think I'm looking for. So hold on. Let me just double check something really quick. It's not soft body, is it? Let me see. Maybe it's soft body. Maybe I'm wrong. No, it's not soft body. I'm pretty sure it's cloth. So let's go back to cloth. Cotton. Let's see. It's not internal springs, because I think that's new. I know it's pressure, though. Pressure definitely needs to be... Oh, collision. Here we are. Self-collision. Let's see what that gives. There it is. Okay. Now we need to play with settings, because you see what's happening? That ain't what we want. So maybe self-collision we want, but we don't want object collision. Maybe that's the thing. Oops. So let's see what that does. Okay, it's a little scrunchy. I think we need to, what do we need to drop down? Usually I'll have like my settings. Oopsies. Let me drop this back. Let me go back. I'm trying to think what project I've used so I can look at the settings, but let me see. Maybe I can just play around with these. What I need to drop. Amount of dampening. The pillow might have not been the greatest thing because this is going to be a lot of trial and error. Let me see. Whoops. Self-collision. Okay, let me see. Maybe we need to drop this friction down. Let's see. Or maybe we need to raise it up. How about that? Friction. Property, field weights, collision. How about, no, pressure I think we need. We definitely need pressure. Collision. What if I pull this up? Let's see what that gives. It also might just be helpful to just jump into a previous file and get the settings for that. Let me apply the transforms real quick. Oops. Okay. Bending. Is the bending? Okay, let me look really quickly. I'm gonna look at a what file did I use where I did a pillow? I literally have a couch that I worked on. Let me see. I'm gonna go to open. Oh, yeah, we definitely want to save this for sure. All right, I'm just gonna jump into a previous file real quick and get my settings because I don't think we want to. Here's the thing too. When you're working in Blender, what I'll find a lot of times, if I don't work on a project for so long and I don't use a specific tool for so long, I forget. like how to do it. Okay, so I have a couch that I worked on. Is this, no, that one doesn't have a couch. I think it's literally just a couch by itself. Let me see. It could be this one. Let's see. That's not it. I just want to grab the settings for this previous couch that I worked on. If I can find it. It was so long ago, and it actually could have been on my laptop, but I'm just gonna check real quick. Vintage, vintage, vintage. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna check one other place, and then we may save. Cozy kitchen. What's that? I have so many files. Where's my little couch? Oh, here it is. Oh, because I named it sofa. How about that? Low key, we could just take this sofa. I never posted this. I never did anything with this. I just made it. Anywho, what are my settings? Oh, I applied it. We'll never know. Collision bevel. Oh, I applied it. Okay, well, let's just see what did I apply. Anything. Can we go into the details? Is there any way of looking up the details of what I did? No. Okay. Nonetheless, I mean, cute couch, right? This is where I was practicing making my own, like, materials. Super cute. How about this? This little plant. We can add this. Where's this plant from? My little pothos? Okay. Little table's cute even. Cute little couch. Anyway, let's get out of here. Dang. So I applied the modifier for that, so I'm not going to be able to even see what I did. That's okay. We're going to figure it out. I bet you will figure it out. This is the name of the game when it comes to going live. The vintage TV, was it the vintage TV? Yeah, the vintage TV, the first hour and a half, I absolutely started over. After an hour and a half into the live, so it's kind of the name of the game. But we're gonna get there. I just need to know the settings. All right. So I know we got cloth. Quality steps are usually fine. I know there's probably only like a few objects that we're gonna, okay, so maybe I think it's like the dampening and the tension maybe we need to drop down. Okay, so pressure's on. Maybe I need to put up the pressure. Let's maybe put it to 5. And then I don't want the I don't want it falling. So let me turn the gravity down. And let's see what we do. Ooh, it's a little squishy squishy. That's not the vibes. All right, let me try, maybe, what's the pressure? Eesh. I mean, that'd be cool in a different scenario. Wait, why is the friction so much? Are you kidding? Wait, that's wrong. I know that's not correct. So maybe pause for a second. Everybody calm down. Let's just reset to default. Drop that down to 5. Under pressure. So if I bump the pressure down, let me see. It's all squishy. That's what I don't know why. Not me thinking it would be easy. Do we need to give it a little bit more geometry? Maybe we do. Need to. So I'm going to jump back into edit mode. I'm going to just pull this back a little bit. How about, let me just give it a little more to work with. How's that? Maybe I need to, let me turn off self-collision and see what that does. Oops, I gotta jump out of edit mode, I think. Okay, let's go back. Boom. Oh, nothing? Oh. Okay. There's a little something happening. We're kind of getting there. So what if I do 5? Amp up the pressure to maybe 5. Okay. Okay, pillow. See, we're starting to get there. 10? Is 10 too much? Let's see if 10 works. It's really interesting to watch. But that's, okay, let me shade smooth it so it's not so aggressive. Okay. It's a little wonky for me though. Stiffness, dampening, pressure. Maybe if I turn off object collisions and see what we got going. This is such an ugly pillow. Yeah, I don't remember there being a ton of things I needed to change with the geometry. Let me see. So we're gonna rock with this. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back into my edit mode. I'm just gonna do one little thing here. To try to avoid that weird, to avoid that weirdness, let me tab out here. And then let's do maybe 3. I'm gonna go Control A, all transforms, go back, boom. Guess that's not enough pressure. Let's do 10. Try that. Ooh. It's just a little wonkier than I would like. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna start fresh. I'm gonna get rid of this, right? Oops. Let me shift A. Let me do another one. Grab on the X. Let me tab into edit mode. I'm gonna scale you down. Grab on the X. Grab on the Y. Rotate on the X90. I'm gonna right click, subdivide. We'll do 20 again. Is 20 too much? Could be too much. We'll do 10. Let's just do 10 and see what happens. And then I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna grab on the Y. Just make sure it's a good size. Let me scale it down some more. All right, let's jump into isolation mode and try this again. So let's E on the Y and give it some room to expand. I'm gonna tab out, Control A, all transforms, and then I'm gonna set origin to geometry. Go here, let me Control S to save. Why is it taking so long to save? Okay. Saved. Now cloth. And then we're just gonna scroll down. Let's drop that down. Turn on pressure. Let's just do 3 to start and see where that leaves us. Click play. Maybe that pressure just isn't enough. Let's go something crazy like 50. Okay. Let me shade smooth. So 50 could be a bit much. Let's try 30. Ooh. All right, now we're kind of talking. So let's see what 25 would look like. Because the idea is to just get the pillow that you like, and then you apply it once you get it to where you want it. So I'm putting the pressure to 20. I'm pressing play. All right, I think I'm gonna see what self collision does, because if that helps with the weirdness, that'll be great. Oh yeah, see, that kind of self collision is not what we want. So let's get rid of that. I want to see what would happen if I change up the dampening potentially. Let's close that out. What if we drop these to like 3? What will that do? What if we bump it to like 10? What does that do? Still kind of does that weird. Okay, now we're kind of talking. If we subdivide this again, that could be a cute pillow. You know, I don't hate that pillow. Let me drop it back down to default. I don't think that's doing much. What if we do 0.9, the mass? What if we make the mass a little bit bigger? It's so interesting. We'll go back to 0.5. Stiffness. What if we drop that down to 10? No. All right, I think we're gonna be cool with what it is right now. I maybe will bump this up to 25 potentially. We press play. All right. Let me see something. Let me jump into edit mode. I'm gonna put a loop cut right here. Just like that. And then I'm gonna jump out. Let's go back. Let's try 35. The pressure, I don't know why the pressure needs to be so high, but oh, is that too much for it to handle? Yeah, 35 might be too, let me see, because if I do 50, what does that do to me? Oh yeah, it just kind of stays there. So if we do 10, let's see what that gives. 10. I think the sweet spot was like 20. So let's do 20 for pressure. Maybe 22 I could do. Oh. Okay. You know. Okay, let's try this. 25. Let's see, 15. What's 15 give? This is what a lot of fluid and claw simulations look like when you're practicing them or trying to do them. I'm going to dissolve it. I'm going to dissolve that edge. We don't want that. Because I think that was kind of making it worse. Not going to lie. It's just the folding in on itself that's really taking me out. That's insane. Look at that. Let's do 20. And let's just find a pillow in this. At some point, there's got to be a pillow. This is super whack. Do I need to, what do I need to drop down? Let me see if I drop y'all down to 7. If that helps at all. A little bit. A little bit. Oof. This is overwhelming, isn't it? All right, let me go back. I'm gonna keep the settings to what they are. I'm going to, what's going on in here? Maybe if I put this up a little bit. We're trying everything at this point. Typically it just works, so I don't know what's going on today. Now we need gravity off because it's gonna fall down and we don't want that. We don't need that. Whoa. I've never had this issue, let's be honest. This is the first. What are these internal springs? Like, will that help? Oh, that's just kind of holding it in place, huh? Oh, we might have a pillow here. Why don't we just use this as the pillow? I'm done. I'm done with it. This is perfect. Love it. Gorgeous. Let's just leave it here, right? I'm tapping out. Oops. No. Oh, man. All right, let's try again. 115, 115. Okay, 119. Okay, we're just gonna apply this. I'm applying it because I don't have time to be here all day doing a pillow. So now we're just gonna jump into modifier, cloth, apply it. We're done. We're done. I'm not playing that game all day long, you know? And then what we're gonna do to try to smooth it out is we'll do subdivision. Now we got a pillow. Looks great. Fabulous. Okay, let's get out of here. That was really interesting. Okay, so we got one pillow. We're just gonna duplicate. We're not even playing that game. We'll put one here. Let me rotate it on the Z a little bit. We will do small ones, but for now. Let me see what else we got back here. Maybe just one more pillow. Ugh. All right, let's do that. I have to do one more pillow, but it's fine. We're just gonna not be too anal about it. So I'm tabbing into edit mode. I'm scaling. Actually, let me grab on the X, pull it over. Let me scale it all the way down. We just want a really tiny one. Rotate on the X, 90. And let's grab on the X, get it. Oh, select everything, grab on the X. What? What? What is that? What just happened there? Wait, what was that? Huh. That's weird. It just was one side that rotated. That was interesting. All right, let's scale down for that. Grab on the X, pull it over. Grab on the Y. Okay, back at our couch. Let me scale you down because you're smaller. Cool, cool. Grab you on the X. You're gonna be, we'll just put you in the center for now. All right, let's jump into isolation mode one more time. Subdivide. Let me do 20 again. And then let's E on the Y. Oh, why is... I don't like that at all. Yeah, we just want that to be one plane, not two. So I don't like that. Okay. So now we're gonna subdivide again. So I'm gonna right click, subdivide, drop down here 20. And then with everything selected, I'm gonna E on the Y. See, it's making it two separate. I hate that. So let me jump out of here. These pillows are just... I don't know why that happens. Blender is not my friend right now. I don't like that. Okay. Cool, cool. 25 on the X. It's gonna be worth it, I know it. Let's scale it down a bunch because it's small. I'm jumping back into isolation mode again. We're gonna subdivide by 20. It was probably that weird rotation that did that, so I'm just trying to keep my moves to a minimum here. All right, cool. Let me jump out of here. We're going back into the cloth. Physics, what's going on? What just happened? Okay, cool. And then we're gonna do the same thing. Click pressure. And we're gonna put the pressure, let's do 10 and see what happens. I don't know. And then turn that gravity down so that it doesn't fall away. Where's the pillow? Where could it have gone? Let's see. Where'd the pillow go? You know? I don't understand. Okay, I guess let's get much closer here. Alright, well, we're kind of getting there, but it's just being a little like that work. That kind of works. Let's shade smooth. Oh boy. What's our pressure? 10. I'm gonna do 20. Let's do 20. Let's see what that gives. Let it play through one time and then let it go again. Okay. 20 might be too much for this little baby. Let's do 15. Let me let it play through. I don't love 15. Maybe 10 again. I'm gonna go back because I think there was some good ones. So maybe like here. We're gonna subdivide, by the way, so don't worry about the clipping too much. Why is this being weird? Oh my gosh. Oh, you know why? Because I think, God, the origin's not at the geometry, so it's just like, jeez. It's really... All right, I'm just gonna scrub the frames and see which pillow I like the most. I think maybe like there. That looks kind of crazy though, but let me get out of this. This is really throwing me. Let's see here. I'm gonna just go up to 30 and see how crazy that gets. Low key. Let me do that. I'm gonna apply this one because I think I like the way that looks and see if the subdivision helps this. Okay, it does. It's a little weird. So let's see what would happen if I drop it to maybe 25 and try again. If it'll work with the subdivision. Oh wow. How thick is that? Is that pretty thick? Let me drop the subdivision down to 2 so it's not as like wrinkly. Okay, I think maybe we could leave it here. Let's just apply this as the pillow. I'm fine with this, I think. I'm not even mad at it. Let's apply it and then, oops. If we subdivide it once more, we'll just leave it at 2, I suppose. Let's just do that. All right, I'm done with the pillows for now. I've had enough. Grab on the Z, pull that down. And then let's just grab on the X and get the pillow in there. I think that's cute. Grab on the Y. Should it be behind? No, it's forward. So maybe we grab you and pull you all the way back to the wall. And then grab you on the Y, pull you back as well. And then grab on the X. And then let's rotate you on the Z so you're not clipping. Okay, let's rotate you on the Z as well. And then I'm gonna grab you on the Y and get you closer to the wall. And then same, grab on the Z. Let's pull you over here. And then I'm gonna rotate this way. I'm just gonna grab on the X so that that little gap is covered. Then the Y, and then let's rotate on the X so there's a little bit of a tilt maybe. We'll do that. Cute. All right, let's save that. That's the pillows. Now let's maybe do the paneling along the wall. I think that'd be really pretty to add. My saving is taking way long. I want to warm up my coffee. Let me go do that. All right, we're back with a warm coffee. Might be a little too warm. All right, get my music. All right, let's move on. Next. Let's do, you know what? Let's do this little table. I just want to do something else. So this is going to be a little counter table thing. So we got a couple options here. I think I want to do this like all panel. So I'm going to tab into edit mode here. So let me isolate you. And I'm just going to subdivide a bunch. Just this way though, just a long way. And we'll just subdivide until we get the amount of panels that we like. Or, hold on. Let me undo that. What we also could do, face select mode, Shift D. Let's grab on the X just to pull it out, just a little P selection, tab out, boom, grab this. Then we'll do the subdivision on this piece of geometry, right? So we'll do maybe we'll do like 16 subs. And then I'm going to face select mode here again. So 3 for face select mode. And I'm going to select everything, P, loose parts. Oh, of course not. P, selection. Nope, of course not. So I'm just going to select each one. You know what else I could do though, but instead of making each of these individual, because that's not necessarily, it's not necessary, we could try something else. And I did this with my Jumanji board, which I definitely want to get back into that. We were working on making the Jumanji board. But anyway, you select the edge and then press V and it like cuts it. So it's all still one object, but you'll see the geometry now. So we're just looking for like a panel look. Let me see if I select all of a bunch of edges, if it'll tear it. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, I'm just selecting these edges. And then I'm gonna hit V. And you see it kind of rips it. So boom. Now when I jump out of edit mode, actually, let me go back in there. I'm gonna select everything. And we're just gonna E on the X to give it a thickness because we got panels. Do that. And then when we tab out, you can kind of see the detail, like when you put, let me see if we go here, if we can kind of see the breaks. We might need to add a little bit of, oh, you know what we'll do? Let me go here. Let me go to, actually, I'm going to select my counter. And then this baby, nope, sorry, we'll do this, then the counter. And then let's go ahead and copy to selected. That way, this little guy has a bevel. And now you can kind of see the panels, right? You can see the splits in each of the geometry. So it's not as aggressive as like an array modifier. But I think if we were to increase our bevel a bunch, then maybe you will be able to see it. Yeah, so if we increase the bevel, you can see the paneling a lot better. You see that? Which might be what we want to do. So right now we're at 0.003. So let's go 0.009. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So let's grab that on the X. And that's just our little detail, you know. And then we'll go into same thing, modifiers, and let's mirror. but we're gonna mirror this object, and it's gonna be on the Y instead of the X. That's not what we want. That's not it. So I'm just gonna duplicate because I'm not playing that game with the modifier. Oh, I think it's because the geometry was not. It's fine. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. You know? As long as we got a panel on either side, I think we're good. I think that's really cute. And then we'll do some panels right here in the front as well. I don't know. I'm just really into paneling right now. For real. Alright, so we're jumping back into edit mode. Again, face select, grab this. Shift D to duplicate using the geometry that we already have. Grabbing on the Y and just pull it. Oh no. Uh-oh, maybe the duplicate didn't work. Let's do it again. Shift D. There we go. Grab on the Y. We don't need proportional editing on. Wait. What is going on right now? Why is that happening? Hold on, let me just undo a bunch because I don't want to have a bunch of duplicates. I'm just getting rid of it now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Don't do this to me, honestly. How annoying could this be? Let me jump back in. Hold on. Let me jump back into edit mode. Because it's like... Wow. It's that piece that I want. If we could just grab that and move it. If we could just do that. Alright, now let me put everything back. You come back. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's do our paneling for this as well. So we're doing the same thing, loop cuts. Maybe we'll do half the amount. Maybe 10. Because we did 16 for this, so in my mind, it's about half the amount. But I think we could do 10. 10 feels... Is that too small? Let me see. I think 10 gets the job done for what we're going for. So with all the edges select, I'm clicking V and we just split them all up. Easy peasy. And then everything's selected. Let's just E on the Y and pull it out so that we have like actual panels. There's some thickness. I'm going to tab out. This selected first, then this, and then let's do bevel. Copy to selected, grab this, grab on the X, grab on the Y. Pull it forward. Boom. Let's see if we do origin to geometry and then try to mirror this if it'll work. Mirror on the Y. And then click this. Sorry, maybe on the X. Yeah, see how far that is? That's no bueno. That's no bueno. Sometimes it does that. And I don't really know why, if I'm being honest. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you a thing. Alright, I'm going to pull it out of the geometry just a little bit. We like it. Let's save it so we don't come across any issues. All right, cool. Now that we have that, I'm going to utilize same geometry. We're going to really amp this up. Or actually, I'm not. I'm just going to use this geometry here. All right, what are we going to work on? Should we do the chairs and the tables? Or should we hit the window? Let's do the chairs and the tables. I think adding some chairs could be fun. What kind of tables do we want now? Do we want circle? It's looking like most bakeries do have circle. So I guess we could go circle. Do I love that idea? I don't know. Um, okay. Because this one has square, but I don't know. I think I might. Let's try circle. If we don't like circle, we'll try square. So with that being said, Let's just Shift A. We're gonna add a cylinder. Tab into edit mode. Let me kind of move the screen over a little bit. I'm gonna scale it down a bunch. I gotta change the origin, by the way. It's just like way far over there. All right, so I'm just doing the top of the table. So let me scale on the X. Okay. It's really... Okay. My like pan and rotate is just being really, really weird, and I just like don't love that for me. I don't know what is going on. Median point maybe? It's just not like doing what I want. It's kind of rocking my world, honestly. Do I need to be in this? Ugh, that's what it is. I was in the wrong view. That was horrible. Okay, cool. I think, are we doing better? Yeah, that's what I need. I need to like rotate upward like that. Ooh. That was interesting. Okay. So, since we're going to do a circle table, I guess we'll use this as a reference then. It's pretty basic. What are the legs looking like? It's just like one. Does this have just one? That doesn't even, oh, it does. It just has one and then like a base. I mean, this is very pastry shop. So we can use this as the base. So let me select everything. Let me scale you down. I'm going to put the origin here. And then we're going to scale it. That way, it's like right in the center of my table. And we've been wanting to move the origin anyway, so. This is when isolation mode would come in. I feel like I am struggling to see for literally no reason. Let's do it. Let's just, let me see. Just really trying to get up under here. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna grab on the Z. I'm gonna pull it down a bunch, but like not quite to the ground exactly. Oh my gosh, absolutely not. What was that? Okay, something like that. And then I'm gonna Shift D, just the face. And then I'm gonna separate that. I didn't need to separate it, if I'm being honest. I didn't need to separate it. Let's just undo that I separated it. So with it selected, I'm gonna grab on the Z. And I'm just gonna make a little detail, maybe like that. Then I'm gonna select, oh no, just this L. I'm gonna scale it so it's like hugging the base, right? Like that. And then we need the edges selected. hold on. Okay, I'm jumping into isolation mode because this is crazy. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is me winging it too, I don't know. I'm gonna inset that bottom face, E on the Z. That's gonna go to the floor. But then, face select, I'm gonna grab this. And then I'm gonna Alt E, extrude along normal. So we're gonna extrude, I gotta go back to individual origins, Alt E. Individual faces, okay, cool. So I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna pull them out. Just keep, I don't wanna do that. I don't want multiple geometry, but it's just moving really weird. Alt E, individual faces. I'm gonna pull it out. I feel that that's far enough. And then edges, I'm just gonna grab these edges and grab on the Z so that it's like this. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Now we gotta go back to the scene because I don't really know what it's looking like. I think we can come out a little more. Also, it needs to just be like that. Truly. Maybe it's just bolted to the floor, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be real? Put it right in the floor. It's fine with me. That's a thick enough base. We don't need to do any more. Cool. Is that fine? That's fine. You know, there's no rules here. So let's get our bevel going. So we're gonna do you and you, and then our bevel, copy to selected. I think this needs a little bit more of a bevel though. Okay. All right, cool. We have a table. So I guess we could, well, before we do that, let's go to top view. Let's get rid of this one. Oh, sorry, before that. Shift D. I'm gonna grab on the X, grab on the Y. I think we can actually fit 3 sets of chairs, honestly. I don't know why my... Oh, is it just the top? Just kidding. So let's click both. Shift D. And then grab on the Y. And pull you over. And then we can get rid of that now. And then if we pull that closer, we can fit one more. So let's fit one more. I don't know why I keep pressing X. It's like, boom. Cute. I low-key want panels on this too, I think. Or do I want that? I don't know. I gotta decide. Anyway, we need chairs now. Let's save this. Now, do we want to do this kind of chair? Is that the vibes? I think it could work. A lot of curves going on here. have some. All right. Let me see what other kind of chairs we got. I mean, all the bakeries kind of have that kind of chair, really. I think this is a bit too modern for what I'm looking for. So, and that might be a little too fancy. Unless, maybe we do this kind of chair. We can try both. I'm starting with we'll do this chair, like this pink one here. I think that's fine. All right, let's do a chair. All right, so we're gonna start with a cylinder, tabbing into edit mode, scale on the X, scale completely. I think we can go even smaller, maybe like that. Let's grab on the Z so I can see how thick it is. We'll do that. Face select on. I'm gonna select this edge, Shift D. Scale that out. Or you know what? Okay, let's trying to make sure that I don't have a bunch of duplicates. Okay. There we go. Shift D. I'm gonna scale it out. And then scale on the Z. Just a little. And then Alt E. Inward. Like that. Is that enough of an edge? Not sure. I think that is enough of an edge. Okay, I added a little bevel. And then I want to subdivide that, but it won't let me. So I'm gonna see what I can do about that. All right, so we have that. I think same situation with face select. I'm gonna Shift D again, and I'm just gonna grab on the Z, giving space there, and then scale on the Z for the detail. I'm gonna Alt E for some thickness. I'm gonna do face select. I'm gonna just X. I'm gonna get rid of these faces and then edge select. Oh my gosh. Edge select, and I'm gonna go up here to face grill fill like that. That way, if I go over to the X over here so that I'm in the side view, and then if let me just kind of lean up a little, I'm gonna go into vertices select, or maybe face select even, and maybe just select the center 4, and then with proportional editing on, I'm gonna grab along the Z, but first let me make this much smaller because we just want it to be like a roundedness. Whoops. Okay, grab on the Z. The thing is, okay, before I do that, I'm gonna hit L, and then I'm gonna P selection, just because I don't want the other geometry manipulated when I do this. So same situation, I'll grab those 4, and then I'm just gonna grab on the Z and give it that kind of like bulge. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to do just this one here because it's kind of not doing what I want. Grab on the Z. Okay, and then I'm gonna scroll out, and let me grab you, and I'm gonna grab you. Let me undo that last one. Okay. I don't know. I don't love that. I don't know if I need more subdivisions. Maybe we do. Yeah, maybe that's the vibes. Okay. I subdivided it one more time. Same situation. I'm just gonna grab that center piece, that center vertice, and then pull it up. It's just getting a little too pointy for me. Not quite as rounded as I'd like. Actually, we can change. Yeah, let's go sphere with it. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. And then I'll just pull the whole thing down after I get the top looking how I want. Yeah, like that. And then turning proportional editing off, I'm gonna grab everything and then grab on the, there it is. I mean, I know that's real high, but I like it. I can select all and scale on the Z a little bit, honestly. And then grab on the Z a little bit to get it kind of tucked in there a little bit more. Boom. That looks great. Happy about that. Let's shade auto smooth then. That's weird. All right, so we have that part, and then let's do tab here, everything, face select, maybe scale it down because it's going to be a leg. All right, let's jump into isolation mode again for everybody. So you, isolation mode. And let's see how we can get these chairs looking good. Oops. I'm gonna tab into edit mode. Grab you on the X. Grab on the Y. Let's just see where we're located. Okay, we're right there. So the way the chair is set up, I'm seeing, is we have a piece right in front. So if we are looking from here, we're gonna scale on the X so that it's much more flush with the chair. And then we can go ahead and scale on the Y as well, making it maybe a little flatter. And then let's grab on that Y and pull it in to the seats like so. Let's see what that gives. All right, and then maybe with the bottom face selected, we can E on the Z. I'm gonna grab on the Z, so, oh my God. I don't like when there's extra geometry, but we can always just dissolve that, I guess. Jumping out of isolation mode just to see how far down we need to go. Okay, so to about there. We are going to rotate it a little bit, so don't worry about that just yet. I think what we're going to do is scale that base out a little bit. If anything, let's jump into edge select, grab on the Z, pull you down to about here. And then kind of with that same situation, we'll scale, and that's going to give us a bit of like, maybe that vibe there. And then edge select, I'm going to get rid of that edge because we don't need that. I don't like how that was looking. All right, and then with this selected, I'm going to do vertices, grabbing this, and then throwing proportional editing back on. Go into X-ray mode and make sure everything's selected. Okay. Just giving the feet a little bit of a wide base, and then I'm going to add a loop cut in the center, and then only grab these, and then grab on the Y. We might need a few more loop cuts actually. Okay. Let's grab on the Y. Okay, yeah, we just want a little bit of a bend. I think that works. Does that look insane? No, I think that looks fine. Hello. Hi 3D Shorts, how are you? Welcome in. Just working on a chair. Hi. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Thank you, thank you. We're just working on our little chair right now. What are you up to? All right, let's see if I can mirror this. Oh, yes, it worked perfectly. Amazing. I'm great. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm just working on this little isometric room, a little fun project. I see your username is 3D Shorts. I have to check them out. You know I love a 3D Shorts. Okay, I'm gonna mirror this, I think, one more time. Yes, I love it. Some new illustration artwork, videos. Love that. Love that, love that, love that. Can we also do the Y? Yes, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check your stuff out when I'm off of here, for sure. Okay, okay, the chair's kind of coming along. I think we can maybe thicken this up a little bit, because, yeah, let's just thicken it up, and then maybe even scale it so that the legs, or you know what, with maybe this selected again, face select, click this, and then let's maybe pull this in a little bit again. Thank you. I'm trying to just like take my time with this one, because I feel like isometric rooms take so long. So I felt like this could just be one of those projects that I continuously work on. So I figured, why not do this on live today? Something a little different than normal. Still modeling though, so still modeling. But I like this because it challenges my skills to try to like come up with the shapes for all these different objects, like this chair. All right, I'm gonna work on the back of the chair now. Now this is what's probably, in my mind, we use a curve. That feels like the vibes. So I'm gonna shift A, and I'm gonna do a curve, and we could do a bezier, or we could just do a circle. I think a circle. Let me scale it down, and then I'm gonna rotate on the X90. That way it's symmetrical, you know what I mean? If I do the bezier, it's gonna be up to me. And maybe that's cool, you know, because it's like handcrafted, but I'd rather just use this, and then I'll use proportional editing to like create the shape, you know? All right, so instead of it being in the center, let's grab on the Y and pull it back so that it meets the back of the chair, right? And then I'm gonna scale on the X so that it's thin enough, right? Bear with me, just like that. And then we're gonna go over here to our data, click geometry, and add some depth. How much depth? I'm not sure. Let me see. Let's get closer. Let me pull it back a little bit since we're adding. Okay. Let's go 0.5. Let's go 0.5 with it. Maybe 0.4. Beautiful, beautiful. And then let me tab into edit mode. And what we're gonna do up top here is add some subdivs. This one, I'm gonna get rid of it. What what can I do here? Can I cut? Do we have a cut situation? Tilt, share, randomize. That might be why, I mean, I can also get rid of it after I convert it to a mesh, so I guess it's fine. Let's just grab on the Z. I'm gonna scale it. Oh, scale on the X maybe. Object mode, scale on the X. I mean, not object mode, proportional editing. All right, so I'm doing something like that. And then for this, actually, we're gonna subdivide again. We're gonna get rid of that anyway, so that doesn't matter. So grabbing maybe you and you. Let's, nope, because that's only doing the thickness. Okay, select all, let's scale it. All right, I think we have the general shape. Now we need to jump into, we got to convert this to a mesh. That's the thing. But it's like, okay, we need to grab. That's what we're going to have to do. So these two, I think I have to do it one at a time, which is kind of scary. Unless, can we do, what we got up here? It's okay, because once we convert it, we can just mirror it. So let me just focus on one side. So I'm grabbing that on the X. Oh, no. Oh. Okay, first let's grab this on the X. Wait, hold on. Let me see something really quick. I'm gonna convert to a mesh. I'm gonna tab out. Okay, here's why we gotta do a Bezier curve instead. I'm just gonna do a Bezier because I just cannot deal. Scale it down. And I don't want to deal with having to delete anything, so we're just not going to deal. RX 90. Right? And then RY 90. There we go. Grab on the Z here. You know what? This was actually the better idea anyway. Because look, it's basically the shape that we need. So I'm just pulling that back like that. Cute. And then, so it's like that, right? And then let me scale it down because it's not that big. Grab on the X. We said 0.4, right? Or 0.04. That might be too big. 0.03. 0.04. 0.035. Okay. We'll meet in the middle. All right, I'm tabbing into edit mode though. And I'm gonna rotate. No. Let me just get in the right view. Let me grab ya. Select everything before I do that, and I'm gonna subdivide and then I'll do it. Okay, something like that. I I think this is a good shape right where we are. I don't think I'm going to play around with it too much more than that. Tab. And then let me see if I can just mirror this and then get them to join by playing with it. So mirror this object like that. How sweet is that, right? And then I'm gonna tab in. I want to E. I want to rotate. I'm gonna scale. Okay. I just want them to meet. Okay, let me undo that. Because if I scale it, then it's not going to be as like curvy, which makes me sad. Okay, cool. And now if we E on the X. And then we'll rotate. Maybe. And then grab. Ooh, how's that shape? How about that? And then just grab on the Y and pull it back a little. Kind of like that. I think that's fun. Why not? Then maybe we can grab this one. And we'll just rotate it a little so it's a little more aligned. How's that? I think that's really cute. And then let's do merge. So 0. Maybe we gotta go up some more. There we go. And we merged. Beautiful. I love this. So let me apply the mirror. Oh. I have to convert it first. Okay, now we're good. And set origin to geometry. Tab into edit mode. Okay. And then maybe what we do, I'm going to do an edge select. And then I'm going to do the vertices select, X-ray mode, this one, that one we're going to fill, oh, undo, And then we're going to face grid edges. Why can't we do that? Whoops. Let's go here, here, L, P, selection, tab. Let's go back here. I'm gonna, didn't mean to do that. Jumping back into isolation mode, tab, all. I'm gonna see if I can make this work. Let me see. Tabbing into edit mode, everything selected, E. Okay. I think that works. Yeah, I think that's cute. I mean, the faces are kind of crazy, but it's okay. With edge selected, I'm gonna select this edge again. Oh my gosh, can I get there? Oh. Me and my handling of my, there we go. Maybe I can grab on the Y and pull it. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay, edge, come on. All right. Before we do any extrusions, let's just, I'm gonna pull it forward instead so that I can bevel. So maybe like that. But you know what? It's still not gonna let me select the edge, so hold on. E. I mean, just having the cushion is important, so like the back of the seat, so I'm fine with it. Giving me a little bit of trouble, but, and then we'll just have to pull the base of this up a little bit. I almost just want it to be just like that. And then maybe if we select, oh, no, because we just want the edge. That's all we want. So edge select. Why would that be? Okay, let's do edge select again, maybe. Let's see what happens. Oof. It's not what we want. We might just have to use the modifier, I think. Oh no, did we freeze? If this froze, I'm gonna be so... Or did my mouse die? Maybe my mouse died. Hold on, let me see if I can plug it up. Let's see if that helps, because it's not moving any longer. Ooh, sorry. Trying to get my charger. Oh wait. What's the charger for the mouse? I can't believe it. Did that die on me? Here we go. No warning? No nothing? Where would I be plugging this? Let me see. Is this mouse alive? I'm gonna turn on my other mouse and see if that's what happened. It's crazy. This mouse is dead, I think. Oh no, I need to plug in the other piece. That's what it is. Okay, let me see something. I'm gonna use my... Does that have battery? Let's see. See if it works again. Oh my gosh, I think what happened? And also, I don't know if my mouse works while it's charging, so I might have to switch my mouse. Okay. Let me see. I have a ton of mouses, so you just gotta find one that's charged. Okay, this one's connected, but this doesn't have a scroll wheel, so this is really gonna suck. Yeah, I think the mouse died. So we're gonna let that one charge up. That was no warning at all, huh? All right, we'll just use the mouse that came with the Mac. No scroll wheel. All right, let me run to the restroom and then we'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's get this going. I'm gonna do as much as I can, I guess, with this mouse, but it doesn't have a scroll wheel, so that kind of... Anyway, we're just gonna have to use modifiers and things. Oh my gosh. Wait, how do I scroll on this thing? Control? Oh, okay, if I hold control, it's kind of like a... Oh god. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh, I cannot. I guess we'll... Man, okay. Anyway, let's just... I can't obsess over it because it's just gonna drive me crazy. So let's do generate. I'm gonna add a bevel. It is so hard going from one mouse to another. It's so interesting. Okay. Ooh. Let me see. This mouse is awful. I have a... like the trackpad, but that doesn't work in Blender too well. This one doesn't work while being charged. Oh, it does. Okay, never mind. I'm turning off the Mac one. Getting rid of those. Okay, the other one works while being charged. I think I just needed a second. We're back. Are we back? We're back. Oh, thank God. So much better. Okay, cool. Amazing. Now, if I tab in here, these faces are just not what I want for me. Wonder if I can get this grid filled. I just don't really know. So I'm just looking here. I'm going to hit C and just start selecting all this stuff. I really want to try to grid fill this. I don't know if it's going to let me. It was kind of not working before. So let's just X. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to X faces. Everything. Grab on this. Still some more faces. Let me jump back into isolation mode and just grab these. And then if we edge select mode, I think, do that, and then face. Come on, let me grid fill. Select. Okay, how about this? How about this? How about if we Alt E? How about if we S? Yes, we're just gonna S. How about that? I think even that looks better than. So we'll do that, and then once we get very close, maybe like there, we'll M at center. I think that even looks better. So then can I edge select this? Ugh, the bevel is just not working for me. That's what really is like making me sad. Because it needs a bevel so bad. See if I do percent. No. This is really sad for me. Oops. Ooh. Depth? What's that do? It's not working. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do here? What if I... Oh, absolutely not. That's awful. So it's not that. That's not what we're looking for. Whoops. How about this edge? So we'll dissolve. Any other edge maybe interrupting, because that could be what's going on. It's like interrupting. Control B. Oops, I meant Command B. See, it's like not working. Devastating. Nah, that's not the vibes. Okay, let me jump out of here. Tab, scale on the Y. Everything scale on the Y. Just gotta make it a little skinnier, I suppose. So that maybe it's just not so obvious. Not my favorite. Not my favorite, but maybe we can make it work. Okay. Oops. I'll pull it back just a little. Okay. And honestly, what we can do with with edge select mode, I'm just gonna grab on the Z and pull it up to like here, and then scale on the X so that it's like in there. I don't know. Good enough for me. What's that look like? I don't think I got all the edges. I can't be okay with that. Let me go to X-ray mode. Let me just do the face. I'm just gonna do the bottom face. Let's be honest. Is it 1 or 2? Can't really tell. I think that's just the bottom face. What is this one? It might be 2. Okay, I'm just gonna grab on the Z. Okay. I see what's going on here. Why don't we just get rid of this completely? And let's see what that looks like. Let's do edge select, make sure everything's selected, and then I'm just gonna scale on the X. And I think that'll do. And then I guess with just this edge selected, we'll grab on the Y and pull it in a little. Alright, and I'm going to select the whole thing and just pull it back a little. No, I'm not going to do that. Just kidding. Let's grab on the Y maybe and pull it out. This is really throwing me for a loop. Let's grab on the Y and pull you in. It's not doing what I want. Okay, let me scale you. Just gonna scale you. That's just gonna have to do. I think that's fine. Whatever. Alright, I think I'm over the chairs at this point. Cute enough, right? Good enough. Alright, so let me maybe select everything. I don't know if I want to join you just yet, but duplicating might be a little hard, so I'm setting origin to geometry. I'm doing median point. Oh, no. I'm just going to do median point, Shift D. Looks like that. Shift D. Is that everything? No. Oh my gosh. So with that and this. Oh no. Let's start over. Legs. Which I guess we could apply the mirror for the legs. That's kind of fine. Okay, design. And then we got the arches. We need both selected. And the back of the chair, Shift D. Is that everything? Cool. Grab it on the Y. And then rotate on the Z. 180. Now we have our second seat. Grab on the, I don't know why I keep clicking X. Alright, cool. So now we have our 2 seats. We're going to duplicate that one more time. So legs, back of the chair. With all of our pieces selected, Shift D. grab on the Y. Oh, we have 3 sets. So here's another one. Grab on the Y. Are all of our tables gonna fit? Yeah, I guess if we just move them down a little bit, they'll all fit. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of these placeholders. All right, now we got a little designing area. Let's move this table. We're gonna have to join some of this geometry because it's gonna be a headache trying to move all the pieces individually. So, but for now, we'll just leave it like this. This is cute. Wow. All right, let me save it. Also with the paneling and the chairs, I'm seeing there's a bit of like a size discrepancy. Like I just don't feel like the paneling would be so much larger than the chair. So I think I'm going to increase the size of all the chairs. Just for scaling reasons. It just doesn't feel real. Like these are much smaller than they should be, which is okay. So I'm just going to, I have to just be okay with the chair. So I'm going to just bevel everything. So I'm going to select the chair. I should have Alt D the chairs. That way I don't have to do this all individually. It's okay. Why didn't that work? Do you not have a bevel? Okay. So I'm going to do this. Copy to selected. Okay. So you guys all, let me see if I can increase what this looks like. It's not really doing much for this. I'm going to auto shade smooth it so it doesn't have like those sharp lines. I'm going to also increase this bevel. Maybe we'll do 0.5. What else do we need to do? Let me see. How's that looking? How many segments? We got 10. Yeah, I think 15 is fine. 0.09, what's that give? Alright, we'll just keep it at 0.05 for now. And what's going on here? I don't even know if this needs a bevel for real. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Yeah, for sure. Let's do that, and then can we do this? Boom. Very good, very good. What you got going? All right, you're good. What's going on up here? You have a bevel, but let's see if we can. This is like kind of stressing me out. Okay, I'm auto smoothing, and then I'm gonna go 0.5 for this also. Yes. And that's going to smooth it out. Same here, 0.5. Love that for us. What if we do 0.5 here? Not much changes for this. So it's just kind of the back of the seat that I'm not in love with. And I wouldn't mind doing it over. So I think I'm only going to join for now to minimize the problems. Everything but the back of the chair. That way, if I do decide to fix it, I can do so. But before I do that, I'm gonna do one thing. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna select I think this loop and this loop. So shift shift option. And then I'm just going to grab on the Y. I mean, I don't even mind it being that abrupt, but I think we'll do O for proportional. Yeah, nope, now everything's affected, so that's not gonna work. Unless I separate it, but it's like, at this point. And then maybe if I edge select this guy, this guy, this guy, and then this guy. Oh boy, didn't mean to do that. And then I'll pull it in just a little bit. And then maybe same with this guy. Okay, and then I'll grab that on the Y also. Okay. Cool. Now, let me save it before I do any joining. And I think I'm going to get rid of all of those chairs, and I'm going to Alt-D and just Alt duplicate all of them. But now we're running into another issue. Okay. Gonna Alt-E. To just like cover up. All right, let's just do that. And then now I feel like okay. All right, I think I can tolerate this chair. This feels okay, I guess. The back we might redo, but everything else is fine. So let me just go ahead and select majority of the chair at the minimum and Control J. That way we only have 2 pieces to deal with. And then these other chairs I'm gonna just get rid of. So we're just gonna do that because I'm gonna Alt-D, because even when we're doing shading and stuff, I just rather not have to deal with all of these individual pieces. I mean, maybe one we can keep that's separated just for our own like support, but other than that, let's just delete. And then these, we'll save this one maybe. So we'll call this chair separate. So I'm going to do M, new collection. We'll just do chair separate for this one. And then we'll just do another collection with the chairs. But at least we have a separate chair. So we're just going to take that out of the viewport. And then this one we'll get rid of. Delete. And then, of course, clicking this chair and this chair, the back of it, I'm going to grab on the Y. Oh, man. Are you not joined to this? Let's get you joined. Okay. So chair, back, grabbing the Y. Just pull it back a little bit. I'm gonna grab this on the Y as well. Pull it closer. Select the chair. I'm gonna Alt D this time. Sorry, Alt D. That way, whatever I do to the original chair is gonna happen to all of my future chairs. We're gonna rotate on the Z 180 so that it's at the table with the other chair. And then let's grab on the, I keep pressing X, I don't know why. So we'll do that, and then with the other chair selected as well, I'm gonna do M, new collection, chairs. And with both selected, first though, let's get these in the right place. Okay. Ooh, I have to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. All right, shift. Oh, wait. I'm just kidding. Undo. And not shift E. Alt D. Right? So grab on the Y. Let's put these chairs here. Alt D one more time. Grab on the Y. Put you right here. Let's move our table. Okay. Wow. That took some time, huh? All right, and then with all of our chairs selected, I want to, in object mode, I'm going to scale everything up. You know what? Maybe I'm going to select everything. Let me grab on the Z. Because I feel like the chair should be like as big as this, like this big. So, oops. Wait, let me see. All the chairs selected, right? Okay, cool. And everything, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on here? Close that. All right, with everything selected, I'm tabbing in. Why is that still, what's going on there? Why would that be a part of this? Ooh. Oh, we don't want, this is not supposed to be in there. Get out of there. I don't understand. All right, so let's try this again. What the? What is going on? I don't get it. Wait, let me maybe uncheck. Because those are all duplicate. Oh my gosh, why is it doing this to me? Why is this here? Like, oh my gosh. Please don't do this. Just let me. Okay, matter of fact, let me just hide you, right? Let me hide you. Because I don't know why you would be attached to anything. It's weird. All right, so going back to the chairs, selecting the chair objects, I'm going to tab into edit mode for those. I guess I got to select this first and then select objects. I don't know. Okay, and then everything. Let's grab on the Z. Maybe like that. Grab a little bit lower. And then I think we can just scale. Oof. That's gonna really, I mean, I think we're gonna do the backs all over again. So let me just not even care about that right now. And just grab on the Z, pull it down. All right, I think the chair's size makes a little bit more sense now. And then I think whatever I do to this one, it'll, let me select L, grab on the, let's see if it'll, yeah, I think whatever I do here, it'll just go back. All right. Let's just do that for now. I'm gonna get out of here. Let's bring you back into the scene. Bring you back into the scene. Tab into edit mode, everything selected. Grab on the Z. And what we really need to do, let me get in here. Let's turn that off. Let me see. Nah, that's not what we want. It's like this I want to grab. Nah, well, maybe all of this. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm going to do all of that for, I'm going to do that for each of these. So we're just grabbing the base of all of them and then grab on the Z, pull it down to the ground. Get out of X-ray mode so I can see the ground. And then I think it was like that. So this kind of like bolted to the ground. But I think the size of the table is pretty solid. So we're good on that front. Let's pull you in. Let's pull you in. I don't love the chair, the back of the chairs now. It's like, that is not my favorite part, but it's okay. And then grab on the Y. Little something like that. Beautiful. I think this one can come back a little bit more too. Something like that. Good enough. Good enough. I mean, these are really close together, but for now it's fine. Oh wow. All right. We haven't gotten that far, honestly. I mean, we've gotten pretty far. Got the pillows, we got the chairs, we got some paneling. Whoop. Got some I keep getting messages from the TikTok shop, and I don't know when I ever signed up for that. I've never shopped in the TikTok shop. It's crazy. Hilarious. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be the last thing that we do in this file. I want to do a cupcake display holder, and then we'll add some cupcakes to that, and maybe that. Why don't we make glass? Let's make this glass, because I think that will really change the vibes of the room. I'm gonna make it glass. Did I save? Let me save. All right. Because I'm feeling like if we can add some, change these from wired to just the glass, it'll be great. So I already have an Eevee glass that I can use that I made a while back. So that's a basic glass, but I have an Eevee one that I want to use. So I'm going to find that. Here it is. Eevee glass shader. Let me go. What's going on here? What did I put? Oh, I put it on the wrong thing. Undo. I made the base glass. So let's change it. There we go. All right, so now we can change this from wire to textured. And now we have a glass case. This one, let's change from wire to texture. Same thing. Glass, wire to texture, and glass. Now we're kind of getting a bakery. Now it's giving bakery vibes. How fun. And then I think this would be like a gold. We're nowhere near ready for shading, but I just wanted glass already. But I think that looks really cool. We need some shelving in our middle display case. But I'm very, very excited for this. Hi, Kiss. How are you? It's been so long. I know. It's been good. Everything's going. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been making pastries. That's kind of what I've been doing in my free time. So this initially started as I just wanted to make a display case for my pastries, and then I was like, well, we can push it a whole lot further and just do a whole bakery, because I haven't done an isometric room in so long. So I thought it'd be a fun challenge. But yeah, I'm just adding some glass because I don't know, I just want to push this further a little bit more. We'll definitely add some details to this glass so it's not as, well, we're gonna have shelving and pastries in there so it won't look as empty. I think this looks great too. That looks good. Then we'll just have a bunch of pastries in here. It's gonna be so satisfying. Yeah. How's everything with you? What's going on? What's new? Any new projects? All right, so yeah, I'm gonna do a cupcake display thing real quick, I think, and we will literally go from there. Maybe we can model in this view. Is that too bright? That's too much, huh? That's too much. Here, I'll just leave this like that over here. That way you can kind of get the best of both worlds. You know? A little bakery. Also, let's get this window cut out. That's nothing. That's how big we want it? I think so. I'm going to Control A, apply transform. I'm doing my cutter, wall. Before I do that, let me save. We always like to save before your Boolean, because that's when everything starts getting crazy. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a separate collection of like extra pieces just in case. So I'm going to save the exterior of this room just in case this Boolean doesn't work for you, girl. So I'm going to Shift D, just duplicate the entire room, and then M, and I'll put it in I'll put it in duplicates. How about that? We'll just do that and then hide that one. So just in case I do need a room, another one, we can go back there. Finally completed. Oh my gosh, really? Awesome reviews. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so insane. To have completed a game is so insane. Congratulations. That's so sick. Yeah, definitely post in the Discord. I want to see. For sure. All right, we're doing a difference. Boom. There goes our little window. M. Hide. See you later, alligator. Okay. See how you can see our geometry is a little wonky now? Look at that. How that already happened. But I think we just need to apply it. That's why it's being kind of weird. And there's a bevel. So I don't know if I need to Boolean first and then bevel, or bevel then Boolean. Not really sure. But I'm actually just going to apply this right now and see what that's doing. All right, so now I think, oh my gosh, this is what I don't love. We might have some extra meshes, so I'm just gonna select all these and I'm gonna X faces. Ugh. Yeah, I think we just have like extra faces now. Just like nobody asked for that. Why? You see what a Boolean does? Let me get rid of this too. It's so insane. Ugh, now the whole thing's affected. Maybe let me apply the bevel first. Thank you. Before I apply that Boolean, let me go back. Okay. 1 week is so wild. That's so fun though. I love that. I love that so much. What kind of game is it again? I forget. I'm applying the bevel first. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to apply the Boolean if I don't have to. Let's just leave it here. All right, there's our window. We're getting a little, it's a little messy, but it's okay. Let's extrude these out to make them really look like signs. I'm just going to do some simple stuff that I can do. So let me do E on the Y. Just pull it out, a little sign. And then I'm going to inset so that we got a little border on our signs. And then we're going to E on the Y. We'll go in. Just so there's a little bit of a frame. You know what I mean? It don't got to be too abrupt. Oops. Undo. E. Just kidding. E on the Y. Oh my gosh, don't do this to me. Okay, cool. Just like that, I think is cool. Think of Doom 64 vampires. Oh wow. Oh yes. Any sort of tower defense, I'm in. And by tower defense, do you mean like a maybe like a Clash of Clans type tower defense where you're just like defending your area? Cause that's sick. And then Vampire Survivor, okay. Doom 64. I don't know Doom 64. What's Doom? Let me see. I feel like I've heard of Doom, but like I feel like I can visualize the cover of the game. Yeah. Totally. Oh my gosh, I used to play this game. It was so scary. It was so scary. When they would get up on you. Oh, this image just triggered me so much. Oh my gosh. Is it a first-person shooter game? That is so funny. I love that idea. Okay, so we have our little signs done. We got the window done. We got our glass going and our little display cases. Let's do a little cake. We'll do a little cake display right here. Let's rock that out. So we have this one. This is the cupcake display, but we need a cake one. So here, why don't we complete this one? I think with this one, I had applied the subdiv and I didn't love that I applied the subdiv, but the base looked pretty solid. So I was like, well, I could still use this. Yeah. First person shooter. That's so fun. That's so fun. All right, let me just add a few tiers for this. So Shift A, we're just gonna cylinder it up. I'm not gonna go super fancy. You know, we've been going at it for a while. Tab into edit mode, scale on the Z, and then scale it down a bunch. It's literally nowhere near my geometry. Like what? I don't love that. I don't love that at all. Oh man, this is bad. Let me get out of here. All right, okay, let's just, can I edge select? Do I have the ability to do that? Cool. And then I'm gonna Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out. Cool. Yeah. Do a post. Yeah. Post it in the Discord. I want to see for sure. We go into object mode, Shift A. Now we're gonna add a cylinder so that it just goes right where my geometry is, because I don't want to eyeball it. I just want it to be right in the center. Ooh, it's really tiny. All right, let's scale on the Z. Grab on the Z. Scale on the Z a bunch. And then I think what I'll do for the last thing for this one is I'll grab my cupcake FBX and add that in here. And at least we'll have some pastries, you know? That's not even in the center, bruh. That's crazy. It's not even close to the center. Okay. All right. What? All right. This is really crazy. Okay, let me look at it like this and then grab on the X. Maybe grab on the Y. Grab on the Z. All right, cool. And I feel like I feel like whatever. Let me tab up out of here. We're definitely going to need a little bevel action. Yeah, I did some, ooh, I love a donut with shredded coconut. Love it. It's one of my favorites. I did just go to the donut shop. I think it was like a couple days ago. And definitely old-fashioned. Like, old-fashioned donuts are my jam. They're so good. They're perfect. So I love a good old-fashioned donut. And yeah, like a glaze with coconut. I'm really into that. Love that. Oh, cucumber shrimp boats. Wait, so is it a cucumber filled with shrimp? Because that sounds awesome. Like, so refreshing. I thought you were going to say like tiny cucumber sandwiches, which is also incredible. I love a good cucumber sandwich. You know, the little ones that you have at tea parties, which I haven't been to that many tea parties, but you know, the idea of them. I've had them a few times. Okay, I'm trying to remember if with these cupcake stands, because okay, let me look at these. We got some examples. Is the base smaller? It can be whatever we want, right? Like, there's no real rules. Yeah. All right. There's no real rules. We can just do whatever we want. So maybe I'll make the base smaller for this one. But like, ergonomically, does that make sense? That's what's kind of stressing me out. I feel like the base would be larger, so this needs to be smaller than this. Let me see. You know, but that's like too small. That's not realistic. So let me see something. I'm going to tab out and I'm going to just duplicate this a couple times. Alt-D. Oh, wait. Hold on. We won't duplicate. I'll array modify it. And then that'll allow me to kind of see what I'm trying to create before I commit to anything. So let's array. I feel like it would be 3 tiers. But I need you on the Z, please. So let's do like 2. Oh, wow. We need way more than that. Let's do 5. No. 9. Okay. 9. Yeah, you know, the base is not going to be smaller than the others. So I got to scale this. It's got to be much... Oh. You know, this isn't going to work. Unless, hold on. Because why not? Like that, right? Hold on. It's a little big right now. That's crazy. So let me maybe scale it. Like... Is that bigger? Cool. Like that. Cucumber salad. Okay. Love old-fashioned donuts. So good. Glaze is great. Classic. Cucumber sliced in half. Scoop out the seeds. Make a boat. Oh, yes. Yes. The rice. Of course, rice. Of course. Do you cut the shrimp up, or are you just going full piece of shrimp? Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Exactly. I love cutting up cucumbers and just putting tahini. It's always a good time. That's a great little snack. A sweet little treat. And like, fun fact, I didn't really start learning about tahini until I moved to California, because back home in Connecticut, I don't remember ever like having tahini ever. So when I got here to California, I didn't love it. I didn't love tahini, I'll be honest. You know, But after a while, I was like, there's a time and a place where it works, where it makes sense. So, cucumbers with tahini, that's a time and a place right there. I think this is cool. Like, this is a cupcake holder. Maybe we could put a little ball at the top. But maybe let's pull these down. Cause yeah, we'll just do like maybe like that. That feels cool. Yeah, 9 looks reasonable, right? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. All right. Let me just shade smooth this. Let's just put a little ball on top, and I feel comfortable with what this looks like. It's more about the cupcakes. So let me add a UV sphere, I suppose, and then not yet. Let me go into edit mode, and then scale. This will just be a little, I don't know, cylinder. We'll also make this glass as well so that the cupcakes stand out. So it's more about the basic shape, I guess. I was wanting to go really fancy with this, which is why I already started with a base, but we've been going at it for quite some time, so I feel like we can keep it more basic. Let me grab on the Y. Let me grab on the X. I'm also going to spend some time today looking at some Blender add-ons that'll just like really help with the workflow, because I think I'm at that phase in my journey of my 3D art, is just like being okay with utilizing different tools that can just create for a faster workflow. So I've been wanting to spend some time checking out some different add-ons. I do have some. Like, I definitely use the Bool tool and the ones that are kind of already preloaded into Blender, but I want to see what else we got out there in the world. So potentially, I don't like that at all. I'm going to be honest. I don't love how that looks at all. Maybe it needs to be bigger. Let me see. Cause like what? I don't know if it's because it's like off center, but I don't love it. I don't like when I have to guesstimate the center. I think so. I really feel good about that. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of this. Okay, cake holder is real big, ain't it? Let's make you smaller, shall we? Like the whole thing. So we got you. We got our little ball. I'm gonna scale you in object mode, so it's the whole thing. That ball's we gotta get rid of that. That's just not the vibes. I don't like that at all. It's just not realistic. Yeah, we'll find another thing to do. Okay, this is kind of cute though. I don't hate this. Let's grab on the Y and I'm gonna pull it. And we'll have like 3, right? Shift D. Wait. Just kidding. I'm gonna Alt D. In isometric rooms, Alt D is like your best friend, because then when you do like shading and stuff, it'll just do it to all of them. You don't have to do like individual. Yeah. This is a little cupcake area, right? Why not? Cute. Add-ons. Yeah, it's really true. And I think another great point my dad made to me is like, you know, once you know how to do it, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You could just, if it came down to it and I needed to model something from scratch, I feel pretty confident that I could get there. Would there be obstacles in the road? For sure. But I do feel confident that I could get there. So the skill has been obtained. So now it's just now it's just a matter of like efficiency and just getting things to just be more efficient and to be able to like pump out projects a little bit faster. I think that's where I'm at in my journey right now. So yeah, that's kind of like where my head is at with the add-ons. Also, with wanting to use a lot more fluid sims, I know there is an add-on that is specific to fluid sims that's supposed to be much easier on the machine than Blender's built-in fluid simulation system. So I want to like get that add-on. Potentially add-ons to support modeling to make that faster. I know there is like another bool tool that's even more efficient and less destructive to the one that I am using. So there's a few like add-ons that I have to think of. Okay, cupcake, you're right. Let's do the cupcake. I'm gonna add in, so let's import. Wait, let me save, because you know things get weird sometimes. I'm gonna save. Let's import a cupcake. I'm trying to think if I have anything else FBX'd out that I can import. I don't think so, but I do have a bunch of pastries that I can add, and I intend on working on some more today. I want to do a lemon and lime pastry, like some sort of a lemon lime pastry. All right, so I'm going to import FBX. Let me see if I can find our cupcake. This one. Oh, yeah, we got it here. So we got one with sprinkles and one without. So we'll do both. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Wait. I should do them one at a time. Hold on. Let me undo that. Because that way I can just put them in groups right now really quickly. So there's our plain cupcake. So I'm going to M, new, and we'll do cupcake. So we'll do one here. Where's that little? Okay, cool. So we have this one. It's all separate. So we're going to leave it separate for like coloring purposes. Ugh, key lime pie. You bet. You bet. Yeah, I'm going to model the fruit, like a little slice of lime and then an actual lime. I've already modeled a lemon, so I just need to model the slice of a lemon. That way, when I'm putting them on pastries, I can just like add either a slice or a full one. So I do need to do lemon and lime. So that is the next thing. I don't know if I baked the texture on these, but let's put our little cupcakes. Oh my gosh. So cute. All right, let's just, we got to work on our sizing. The scaling is all off, so we got to focus on that at another point. But it's okay. Let's just get it up here and see what it gives. Let's get a little closer. Let's get a good view. Yeah, these are not large enough, so let's start there. Maybe that would be the size of a cupcake. And pull it down a little. Grab on the Y. All right, maybe this. This feels good. I think. Yeah. we have a cupcake. Now let's go into rendered view. Okay, so yeah, we didn't bake the material, which is fine because we can add our own material, but we have a cupcake. I love that. All right, and then let's click into our cupcake collection, and I'm gonna add the second one with the sprinkles. So let's import another FBX, and let's do with sprinkles. I know the donut tutorial, that was the first one I ever did. So we're also gonna we will add the Blender Guru's donut in here. It's a must, you know. And to be honest, to this day, I think I might have mentioned this, but to this day, I feel like that is one of my best renders ever. Like, it's one of my top renders for real. I feel like I did such a great job with that one. The compositing at the end was really, I think, my favorite part. I think I do try to be on top of the compositing, but I will be honest, like, it's kind of my least favorite part of the process when you're doing your project, but I've learned it's like the most critical. If you want it to look, you know, like a feature film, post-production, doing all that, the lighting, color correction, like that's where you really put the icing on the cake, if I'm being totally honest. There's a huge difference, I think, in the value when you take a moment to do that. I just feel like by the end of my projects, I'm so exhausted and over it. And by over it, it's like I'm just ready to, you know, work on something new, that I don't prioritize that part. But I definitely think it's important. And there's an obvious quality boost when you do it. So I try to keep that in mind for myself, honestly. All right, let's look in render view. Let's jump out of here and see. Cute, right? Got some cupcakes with sprinkles. You know what? I don't even know if I've ever had a cherry pie in real life. I don't even know if I've ever seen a cherry pie in real life, actually. I also don't love cherries are cool, but I don't love them. But I think visually, a cherry tart or a cherry anything is really pretty. I did do a cherry tart as one of the pastries, actually, for one of my like practice models for my watercolor shader that I had worked on. Okay, so now we got some cupcakes in the building. Not too many, but a couple. Let me make sure my cupcakes are in the right spot. I think I want to separate them though, so I think we're cool for now. I think it's cool here until I need to do some more. I mean, I think we pushed this room further today. I do feel that way. I feel like we added some paneling. We did the pillows. That took a little bit longer than we anticipated, but we got there. Pillows are done. We have a little menu we can work on. Now it's just about kind of filling things in. I do want to do the coffee machine, but I feel like that's going to take some time because I have to get references for that. So this will be like a whole little coffee section. These cupcake displays, they're, you know, I might redo them. I don't love them. I'm not obsessed. The sign we need to do, and I want to put like a chalkboard background and kind of do that. I want to add like a rod across, and then we'll do some curtains. Maybe we can add some curtains. Maybe we can add some animation for the curtains so they're moving continuously. That could be fun. I think I could redo the back of the chair later. We do have this glassed out, so that makes me happy. I want to do all the shading and colors at once because I feel like that'll be really satisfying and fun. So that's why I'm trying to stay away from, I want to make this gold so bad, but I want to save it for like the final reveal. We need some shelving in here. Let me actually see. Oh, homemade. Yeah. Yeah, lighting, lighting is a whole thing. And something I learned at Noman, we had a professional lighter. It's all he did for like 15 years. He only did lighting. So I also recognize and acknowledge that within this field, within this realm of like VFX, 3D, post production, compositing, whatever, texturing, there are people who literally hone in on one thing only, one thing and one thing only, and that's all they work on. And I think being like a generalist, which is probably what I would consider myself, does leave for being able to like dabble in a lot of different things, but I don't know if I am like a professional expert. I'll say professional for sure, but an expert in one area, that's where it kind of leaves you like vulnerable, I guess, in that space. But I mean, I enjoy being a generalist because I do find also I might get like bored with projects. So one week I might be all into modeling vintage everything, and then it's just like I'm over it, and now I want to make fruit for 3 weeks, you know? So I think being able to just like you know, like dabble in everything, like that's fun. I enjoy that. I don't think I could just do one thing all the time. I do love modeling though. Like modeling is definitely my top 3 things to do in Blender. But I don't think I've locked down just one thing though. All right, I'm just adding some shelving in this before we call it. Okay, and then how many we need? Just 2? Yeah, we'll just do 2. Can we... Oh, man. I can't get to the, to it because I think this glass. Hold on, let me just hide this glass really quickly. Because at the minimum, I can put the shelving in, you know. There's so much geometry in the scene. Oh no, I need it. I need the shelving. I need the glass. So put it back. All right, I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna tab in. Come on, let me in there. Let me select my girl. Oh, let me just go into X-ray mode. How about that? And then with her selected, I'll do L. There we go. And then I'm a Shift-D. I shouldn't have Shift-D. I should Alt-D. Can I undo that? Let's undo. Alt-D. Oh, no. Come on. L. Alt-D. Come on. What's going on? Okay. I don't know what this is doing, but it's like not working. Okay, I'm just gonna Shift-D then, forget it. It could be because I'm in edit mode, but I don't think that's why, but nonetheless. Okay, let me pull this up pretty high. Maybe like there. How's that look? It looks great. We do need a bit of a border along it, but I think it's cool. Being a generalist helps you identify exactly what you want. Yes, exactly. You can find someone else to do. Yeah, it's honestly true. Because I think I mentioned, I don't know, at some point I did start my artistic journey with Flame. So it was a lot of post-production, and a lot of compositing, a lot of like rotoscoping and still frames. It was cool. I learned a lot, but I wasn't obsessed. I didn't love it. And I would find myself going to meet with my mentor and being like, okay, like this is cool and this is where the money is, but I can't wait to get home and like work on some 3D. So once I started just like always wanting to be in Blender when I was learning other software, I was like, okay, I think I'm more into this. I don't love post-production, which is why I was so grateful for my dad when he was like, moving forward, you can send me your videos and I can do post-production, because my dad doesn't mind editing using like, Premiere Pro and After Effects, DaVinci. I have some knowledge in that. I definitely use that for editing software, but I don't love it. I'm not having a great time when I'm doing that. Can't wait for it to be over, and that's what I learned. It's like, I want to do this part, and then if I could send it off and have somebody cut it up and add all the special effects, that'd be great. But I learned that by doing, I learned that by having to edit my own videos or learning from my mentor. So I think I chose generalist because of that reason, because I just wanted to figure out what I loved the most, like what was my jam. So I always enjoy 3D modeling. It is like something about, you can fall into a flow state. Like when I started this project, I was like getting ready for work, and in between I'm like coming in and adding little pieces, and that's how all the placeholders got here, because I was like, ooh, like at the least I can add the placeholders so I can see what all is going to go on the scene. And I just couldn't stay away from it, and I was like, all right, let me go to work. This will be my little break. And then when I get home, I'll get back on the computer. Like work was interrupting what I really wanted to do, which was model, So I kind of use that as my North Star. I use that as my guiding light. What's the thing that I would just be doing no matter what? And this is that, This and painting. I love painting. But I have my seasons. I think with painting, there's some times where I'm just obsessed and all I want to do is paint. And then there's times where I just want to be on the computer. So I allow it to be what it is. So I think we've done all we could do, I'm really hungry. I'm going to take my pup out. She wants to go for a walk. She's been staring at me, so it's probably time. But I think we've definitely pushed this further. We added our chairs, we got the window, we had our menus done, the couch cushion and the pillows are done. We got some glass on our bakery. We added some shelves in the centerpiece. We'll add a nice border so that it looks like a display. What else? We did some paneling on our little cupcake table. I think we'll maybe add a little iPad in this little center area. We need some more cake displays up here. So I do think I'm going to redo the cake display because it's a centerpiece. It's a whole thing. So I think we'll do something like this. I mean, I've literally been making this. I think I have this in a file. I literally have it. Let me see. If we just go into this, this is so funny. I literally have this already. It's right here. It's literally right here. Can I copy it? Hold on. It's like, can I just duplicate and just put it in right now? Where is it? It's in here. Yeah, let me copy this. Yeah, this is one of the pastries that I did. Let me see. Can I don't know. Oh, wait. Copy. If you can just copy and paste it, that's going to be really cool. Why is this weird? Okay. I'm going to see, because that's really cool. All right, and then no objects to paste. What? I mean, I guess I can make it an FBX and just put it in, but yeah, so I already have a cake display thing. Nothing to paste. Oh, well. Anyway, so yeah, we'll add some cake. We'll add that. That's another thing I need to do is stop remaking things and just use what I have. So that's what this room was. I wanted to fill this room with things that I had already made throughout the years so that I could have it on display, literally. So that's what I'll do this week. I'll spend some time going through all my files, making a bunch of FBXs of stuff that we're going to add into the room. If I do any modeling or adding of any geometry, I'll do like a little short, like a time-lapse model with the screencast keys, and I'll post that maybe as a short, just so we know where it's coming from. And I don't know what we'll work on next week. We'll see. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I think it'll be cool to have a scene full of things that I've worked on in the past to refer back to just remember. Because there's a lot of times where I'll like redo things, make things over, and it's like I already have a plant. I already have a vase. I already have a box. I already have whatever. So I think just having it in one place will be great. And this will also force me to make a lot of the things that I've created FBXs. So I'll do that as well. I'll make them FBXs. I'll throw them on my Gumroad if anybody wants them. And that's what I'll probably spend the week working on. As well as my vintage TV, which I'm so proud of. Took 3 days to render. It was an estimated 11 days. So for it to go from 11 to 3, I feel great about that. So yeah, I have a lot of content that I'm pumping out. Yeah, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling. Thank y'all for being here with me today. I'm going to go get myself some food. Thank you for everybody engaging in the chat. It's so helpful. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope this brought you a little calm. Hope you learned a little something. Yeah, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. My hope is that I can start jumping on throughout the week as well. I just don't know exactly what day, but I think after this week I'll have a better idea. My birthday's coming up, so next week we might shift things around a little bit, but yeah. I think that's it, friends. I'm going to go take my pup out, get me something to eat, another cup of coffee, and do the rest of my day. But I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever time it is, where you are. Oh, and also I may be going live on The Sims this week because I have some really cool ideas. So I will either post my second channel, which will be my Sims channel, which there's nothing on there yet, but I just have the channel, or I'll go live here. I usually stream on Twitch, so we'll see, but I will be doing some Sim stuff soon to integrate like Blender and everything. So that's like down the pipeline also. Anyway, I'm done blabbing. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next week, later this week, sometime soon. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.